Okay, I'm going to challenge you today, and I'm going to assume that a lot of what you do is a waste of time. That's right, and a lot of what I do is a waste of time as well. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the concept of the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule. Well, it's very powerful and it's ubiquitous in all of nature. If you look at any example across nature or business or time management, the principle holds true pretty much all the time. Essentially what this means is that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts, which essentially means that the vast majority of your time is a waste of time, pretty much. And I'm not saying this in a condescending way, because we all have ways that we can improve our effectiveness and our efficiency, and it's about identifying what are the things that we're doing on a day-to-day basis that are actually producing the results and get rid of everything else as much as possible. So let's talk about health, for instance. I guarantee that there's a very small number of things that you're doing that are helping you achieve the health and the body that you want. The rest of it is either holding you back or is not moving you towards your ultimate goals. So maybe you work out, let's say 1 hour a day every single day of the week. I don't necessarily recommend that, but let's just say that that was the scenario. If we look at 1 hour a day being your 20%, then that's the 20% that's making 80% of your results possible. Or maybe it's something like you don't even work out, but you're just active throughout the day. What are the things that you're doing? Is it you're walking up and down the stairs, or are you walking your dogs with like a weighted vest on, so you're getting more of a kind of a workout in from that walk? So there are a very small number of things that we all do on a day-to-day basis that produce the majority of our results. The goal is to identify what those are and do more of them. The same with your foods. Which are the foods, the small group of foods or the small group of meals that you eat on a consistent basis that are helping you achieve the weight loss or the weight gain that you don't want? So for instance, if you want to lose weight, then I guarantee that there are a handful of meals that are helping you, and there's probably a bunch of other meals and food choices that are not helping you. And so it's about sitting down and kind of identifying, okay, what is supporting me, what isn't, and then moving forward with what is supporting you. If we look at from a day-to-day perspective, how you manage your time and your energy is really everything. You know, we all have 24 hours in a day, but it's how we manage our energy and our time throughout those 24 hours that's going to really determine the difference between how productive you are and how much stuff you get done or not, right? So, excuse me, a lot of people think that, you know, some people they don't understand how they can get more stuff done. And I'll give you a perfect example. So I had a conversation with my brother, who is my business partner pretty much, and I was talking to him about the importance of growth. One of our core values is grow or go. So if our team members don't continue learning and growing, they're essentially gone. And that's something I really hold deeply to my core, and it's something I instill in my kids, and it's just how I live my life. And I think it's a very important component for me personally, to be able to give you more, I have to learn more myself. And so just for me, that's an important core value. So anyways, we're talking about the importance of learning and developing and growing and stuff. And he's asking me, he's like, Yuri, how do you have time to read books and listen to audiobooks and do all this other stuff? You've got 3 kids, you know, we have the same amount of time in a day. How are you getting all this stuff done? And I told him, I was like, well, here's basically what I do, is I get up at 5 in the morning, and at 5 in the morning until 7, I'm writing. 2 hours focused writing time. Then from 7 to 9, at the time of this recording at least, I spend with my kids, right? So I'll go for a walk with them and the dogs, or I'll get them ready for school, we make breakfast or whatever. And then when they're at school, 9 till 12 is more focused time. So that's when I'm kind of cranking out videos like this, or doing more productive work, focusing on my unique ability. Then I'll have lunch. Early afternoon, I'll do some kind of smaller things. I might do some interviews or some other stuff, and then I'll hit the gym around 2:30 or 3 o'clock, and then we'll pick up the kids after school. So where do I get in my learning? Well, you know, if I'm working all day, if you're working all day, how do you get in learning? Well, the thing is, what I do is if I'm taking the dogs for a walk and I don't have my kids with me, I'll throw on some headphones and listen to an audiobook. If I'm working out, a lot of times I'll listen to some kind of upbeat music, but other times I'll listen to some audiobooks and some learning as well. I'll listen to, you know, business podcasts or health podcasts, so I'm continuing to sharpen the saw and become a better version of myself. At night, I mandate I have at least 1 hour for myself to read or learn or grow, and then I can watch TV or just do whatever I want afterwards. So both Amy and I, you know, we put the kids to bed at about 7 or 7:30, and then after that, instead of just kind of plopping on the couch, which happens in some cases, you know, just if you're kind of exhausted after dealing with 3 kids, but for the most part, a minimum of half an hour to an hour for both of us every night to listen to audiobooks, to grow, to meditate, to do something to develop ourselves. So for you, it's about identifying where can you find, and again, where can you make this a mandatory inclusion into your day. And it's about identifying where you're wasting your time, whether or not you can be doing other things, in most cases you can, that are going to help you towards your ultimate objectives, and then focusing more on those things. Because if you want to be a better version of yourself, which I hope you do, then you cannot be doing things that are going to be holding you back and reflective of somebody who is not a reflection of the person you want to be. So think about 80-20. I mean, there's a lot of great books on this topic. Richard Koch, Coach, I'm not even sure how to pronounce the last name, Koch. He basically wrote the book, The 80-20 Principle, I believe. There's another kind of sales and marketing version by Perry Marshall called 80-20 Sales and Marketing, which is tremendous. And if you just learn about this principle and see how you can start to look at it and how it applies to your life, it will profoundly change how you look at how you manage your days. So anyways, I hope that that serves you well and you get some value out of this. And look forward to seeing you in the next video. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe and join me over on my blog at yurielkaim.com. And until then, I'll see you then.